So Diego Pacheco stopped Selecki in the 6th round over the weekend with a body shot. This was the first name on Diego Pacheco's record, really. If you scroll through, there is literally nobody there. Certainly not internationally. I mean, some UK fans may recognize Jack Cullen, and no disrespect to him, but he's not a world level fighter. Other than that, there's nobody on there. Pacheco's been moved very carefully through his first 22 pro bouts. This was a step up of sorts, and he handled it without any issues, really. He did get caught with a few left hooks from Selecki, counter left hooks and some lead left hooks. But other than that, he was never in any trouble. He used his height and reach very well. You know, over the years, we've seen some taller Mexican fighters, and the majority of them have given up their height and reach in favor of slugging on the inside. Whereas Pacheco is a guy who actually utilizes his height and reach relatively well. He's got a nice jab, he keeps things side on, throws a lot of straight punches before mixing it up with hooks and uppercuts when he feels like he's got his opponent more broken down, as was the case here against Selecki. It was somewhat competitive in the first couple rounds, but he started shaking Selecki up a bit before finally taking him out in the 6th round with a body shot. And that was the first time Selecki had been stopped in a 14-year pro career. Although he is 35 years of age, he's no spring chicken. 35 pro bouts, including the Pacheco bout. And he's been in there with the likes of Demetrius Andrade, Danny Jacobs, Jack Culcay at 154, Gabe Rosado, who he has a win over, and so on. So this was the best scalp that Pacheco has taken so far. He's now poised to become mandatory for Canelo Alvarez. He wants to fight right away. His promoter Eddie Hearn is saying pump the brakes. He wants him to have a few more development fights before then. Hearn actually said he'd like Pacheco to fight Jaime Munguia next. And that's a really interesting one because Munguia is quite a tall fighter himself. I think he's about 6 foot, but he would be dwarfed by Diego Pacheco, who's 6'4", with a massive 79-inch reach. I want to say Munguia's got the faster hands. I don't know who the bigger puncher is, but I wouldn't mind seeing that fight stylistically. How would Munguia cope with somebody so long and rangy like that, who knows how to use the height and reach? I think it would be interesting. I don't know whether Top Rank want to go down that road. That's who promotes Jaime Munguia now. He left Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy after the Canelo fight. Munguia now fights on ESPN. And look, Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum have done fights together in the past many times actually, but the fight would have to make sense for Top Rank and Munguia, both commercially and in terms of where Munguia's at in his career at the moment. Maybe Munguia needs some confidence builders, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's happy to jump straight back in a tough fight. I don't know. But these are the things which will determine whether or not Munguia actually fights Pacheco, in his next fight at least. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. First of all, about Pacheco's performance against Selecki. Were you impressed? Were you not impressed? Secondly, about the fact that he is likely to become mandatory for Canelo Alvarez in the coming months. He's #1 ranked at the moment, but the mandatory hasn't yet been called. Do you think he should take that fight next? Or do you think, like Eddie Hearn, he should continue his development a little longer? And thirdly, what do you think about him fighting Jaime Munguia? Is that something you want to see? And if it did happen, how do you see it going? Does Munguia win or does Pacheco win? Let me know in the comment section.